Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today will be the Alabama video. Roll Tide to all those that believe. Shout out Saban, the GOAT, clearly. But is it over? I think we're getting to that point. That's kind of the casual take. That's what the title is going to say to make you click, whether you like it or don't. But it's definitely going to be a down year. Now, I know Saban had maybe the most cocky move of all time by calling 2 seasons ago, his rebuilding year, but this is definitely the rebuilding year this year. He's got one of the best classes of all time last year, and then one of the best classes of all time coming in this year. Just to give you a little look here, second and third, Georgia and Texas had five stars and 4 4-stars combined, right? Alabama had 9, okay? 18 4-stars and 1 3-star. They averaged almost a 5-star, right? It's a high 4 stars, their average, 94 out of 100, or 94.8 out of 100 was their ranking. I believe it was the top class in the history of, the classes. And I'm 99% sure they've got 3 out of the top 5 all-time classes currently in the building, right? That's crazy. And you look at some of these commits, man. You got Keon Keeley, 5-star edge. Caleb Downs, 5-star safety. Caden Proctor, the kid they stole from Iowa, 5-star offensive tackle. Justice Haynes, 5-star running back out of Georgia. It's just littered with guys, and it's just crazy to see. Yeah, they bring in C.J. Dippre, tight end from Maryland, Trezemian Marshall, linebacker from Georgia. Actually, a lot of transfers out. I didn't even realize how many that came out. Jalen Key, in-state from UAB. Trey Amos, a corner from the Raging Cajuns of UL Lafayette. And then, obviously, one of the one of the biggest names, Tyler Buckner, the quarterback from Notre Dame, along with his coordinator, Tommy Rees. Now, we look at their current roster, and you don't got to go very far before you start having some question marks. Chase McClellan, great running back. Justice Haynes, probably the backup, the 5-star. Kid's unbelievable. Their defense is nuts, dude. I'm looking at their big board here. 3 of their top, 5 guys are all going to be guys are going to be in the draft. Dallas Turner, top 10 pick. Kool-Aid McKinstry, top 10 pick. Dallas Turner, probably the second best edge behind Jared Verse from Florida State. Kool-Aid McKinstry, number 1 corner. And then they got Malachi Moore, a safety. He's going to go pretty up there pretty soon. A lot of these guys they've got coming in are just getting such high praise already. So they're going to need time to get there, but they're definitely going to get there. Probably not this season. I would say next season's their year because they need to go out and get a gosh darn quarterback. And I know they got one coming in next year, but Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Tyler Buckner really doesn't make you go, whoa, we got some good guys coming in. I think Milroe's probably going to start. I don't even know, man. And it's just crazy to think that we don't even know who's going to be their quarterback. They can go back to what they used to, right? And this is what Bama fans will tell you. Oh, we're used to not having a big name quarterback. Our best teams are with A.J. McCarron or all these other guys you don't know about, blah, blah, blah. You could do that when you had a number 1 or number 2 defense in the country and you had 30 picks between your offensive line, your receivers, and your running backs. I want you to play this game with your friends, okay? It's called Name a Wide Receiver in Alabama. Go. Now, I imagine all you are going to say the same one that I said, which is Jermaine Burton. Highlight of the season last year was slapping a sorority girl in the face after losing to Tennessee on the field. Outside of that, they got Isaiah Bond, who's I think is doing a bit better. Ja'Cory Brooks, probably going to get drafted, I'd imagine. He's relatively good. But the guy you don't know about that you probably should, I've been hearing good things about him from camp, Malik Benson. He is the top JUCO guy in the country for receiver, and he is going into the Alabama offense. C.J. Dippre, another transfer that they got in from Maryland, he'll start as well. So they have 2 transfers in. As for offensive line, getting a lot better. J.C. Latham is very good and will be drafted. But it's not littered with as many picks as you normally would see. We didn't get a lot of picks out of them last year either. Obviously Bryce Young and Jahmyr Gibbs went first round, but Bryce Young was him clearly. Jahmyr Gibbs obviously was a transfer from Georgia Tech, and then I think Cameron Latu went to the 49ers, I believe, in the 4th round or so. So, listen, right? They're in a down year, right? But the best part about them being in a down year is they're still the second favorite to win the national championship, which is crazy. I think it's nuts. I don't really see it. Obviously, I mean, the way they would do it is their quarterback situation gets figured out. Tommy Rees knows what he's doing. You're going to pound the rock with McClellan. He's going to go crazy. And your defense is going to be all world. I mean, Dallas Turner is that guy. Kool-Aid's that guy. They've got Caleb Downs coming in, who's going to be a great secondary guy as well. And it's just going to be very, very cool to see how this Bama team responds. Just one little point on Kool-Aid McKinstry. This might not make sense to a lot of people, but this is just how my brain works. Any guy that has a little thingy on his back, I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about? Like it has the script A, and it's the thing that it's like the back is rolled up, and it's got the end of the shoulder pads at the bottom by like above the waist. The thing, whatever that thing is. Any guy that wears that is instantly like a Heisman guy to me. Like I know Gibbs wore it last year and he was sick. I believe Waddle wore it as well. Any guy that wears that is very good. That's just me. I think Devonta Smith did too. But moving on into more serious things here. As for the schedule, Middle Tennessee State, obviously a juggernaut that beat Miami last year, so you always got to watch out for them, but easy win nonetheless. Home against Texas. Again, this is what I've talked about this before. This is the statement game. Right? This is the we are back. Very, very quick, again, for Texas too. It's the we're back bowl. That's what I'll call it. If Bama wins this game comfortably, you're like, okay, we got to take them seriously. If Texas wins it, media overdrive, and everyone's like, Bama's done. It's over. Bama probably should have lost last year, one would say. But, hey, games are played. Things happen. It wasn't their fault that Quinn got hurt. They played what was in front of them. Bryce from that crazy last-second drive and got out of bounds, got that field goal up by Will Reichard, and they did the thing, right? Then they play at South Florida. Good win there. How fun is that game, though? Good for South Florida. Go down to Tampa for a long weekend and watch your team play. Host Alabama. Crazy. Then you got the Mississippi schools back-to-back. Ole Miss at home, which is maybe going to be a tricky game. I do think it's a game you got to worry about, but not the most. Probably the second biggest game you got to worry about in your home schedule. And then second conference. Let me clarify myself because I'm looking at the schedule. I'm getting ahead of myself. At Mississippi State, obviously in a rebuild. Kind of not going to worry about that one. Texas A&M. This is another one you got to look out for. At A&M, they always have your number. You play them tight every year. I think they could be. I think they catch you. They could catch you here. This could be the game you lose. Obviously, maybe you lose to Texas. Maybe you lose A&M. I think A&M probably could be like a touchdown underdog. Maybe more at home, but we'll see how that goes. In between at A&M and home against Tennessee, you got home against Arkansas. Not a fun team to play. They run the ball a lot. Obviously, KJ Jefferson, glorified running back at quarterback, what some would say. And then you got Raheem Rocket Sanders at running back as well. Very good. So they're just going to run the ball like nobody's business. That game will go quick, but it's going to be crazy. And then looking next week, you have got the third week in October, and that means one thing. You're playing the Vols. I think this is going to be a Saban rat poison revenge game, and he's going to absolutely wipe the floor with them, unfortunately. And then the schedule breaks their way once again, and they have a bye week, and then they host LSU. Obviously, we saw last year, these two games back-to-back, they lost. And I think LSU is going to be in for a very long day, but I think LSU pulls it out, man. I really think LSU wins this SEC West. There'll be a video next Friday or the Friday after, but I think it's something to look out for, man. There's about 3 or 4 games they could lose here, and it's just I'll get into that point in a minute. But then they have at Kentucky. Maybe a trap game, but probably not. Home against Chattanooga, no problem. At Auburn, no problem, right? So your games you could potentially lose. I don't even think Tennessee is a game you could potentially lose. I just don't see it. I'm going to say LSU, A&M, and Texas, right? You're probably going to lose at least one of those 3 games, if not 2. And then, you have a problem. I think the most likely game to lose, I would say, is at A&M, just because that's just how it goes. And then I would say LSU and Texas. And again, so Alabama really had kind of a down year last year, obviously, based on their standards, but they were a point away from losing to Texas, and they were like a point or 2 away, I don't remember the exact score, of losing to A&M last year in that last play with Milroe. So it's going to be very interesting to see because, like, look, you obviously lost Bryce Young and you lost Will Anderson, 2 generational talents. And, Jahmyr Gibbs was basically your whole offense, leading rusher, and I believe second leading receiver, or like maybe even first. It'll be hard to place him, obviously. Rushing wise, you definitely can, but receiving, it's gonna be different. But I just overall think that it's gonna be a down year for Bama. Is the dynasty over? Absolutely not. It'll be easy to say though for you to click on the video, and hopefully you've stayed along this whole time. But it's gonna be very interesting. The first time in a long time, obviously last year included. SEC West is going to be really cool and really fun to watch. So do you think it'll be A&M? Do you think it'll be LSU? I kind of do. Or do you think it'll be Alabama? Let me know down below what you think and if you think the dynasty's over or not. So roll tide to those that partake and believe. And thank you all for watching. Hope you subscribe. You stick around for the rest of my college football coverage this year. And have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.